So you know what else is good about this time of the year is you get out in your garden and you've got these gorgeous flowers. So why not make your own bouquets based on your own garden flowers? Some of us are a little bit tentative about cutting them. We want to cut them in the right place.
Yeah.
And make sure they'll still grow back again. And when? When you cut them?
When. So first off, let's answer the question of when.
Yeah.
So when we really want to cut our flowers is when they're cool. And when you think a flower is going to be cool, it's going to be more so towards the morning.
Yeah.
So cutting in the morning is a really good time. They've had the night to rest a little bit. After that morning dew is just dried up, that's the optimum time to cut a flower. You can cut a flower at any time, and many of them will last a long time. So for instance, right here and right beside you there, we have Shasta Daisy, and that's Daisy May. And Daisy is a really easy cut flower that's going to last a long time.
Okay.
Hydrangeas, for brides to be, you know, they love a hydrangea, but hydrangeas are a little bit finical.
Yeah, they're fussy.
They are. I would rather cut these on the day of your party. So cut them in the morning of your party, where the daisy will last you a long period of time.
Like maybe a week you're talking, the daisy?
Daisy will last up to 5 to 7 days if the water's changed.
Yeah, all right.
Now this is a really neat hydrangea. Just wanted to show it to you. It's called Hydrangea Revolution.
Okay.
And if you take a look at the bloom, look at the size of the bloom, number one.
It's a revolution.
It's a revolution.
They're revolting.
I'll just pop these guys over here for now. But you can just see that the size of the bloom, number one, is just so amazing. And then number two, look at the color. The color where you got that variegation in there, you know, and that there is just a beautiful, beautiful flower. First thing is whenever you're cutting a cut flower, you never want foliage to sit in the water. If foliage is going to sit in the water, it's going to rot. So
so you take all of those leaves off.
Just take the leaves off.
And make sure you just have the stem in there. The other thing is if you do have a hydration with such a big, heavy bloom, you shouldn't be cutting it too long, should you?
You can cut it.
Because isn't it going to go
It will. That's a really good point. Usually when you're cutting any plant, be it a perennial and or shrub, like a flowering shrub, like a hydrangea, you never want to cut more than 1/3 of the overall plant.
Okay, fair enough.
You want to cut the plant back down to the stem where the foliage branches out. So say for instance, if I'm going to cut this bloom right here, we're going to go down. We want to get a little bit of height to this bloom. We're going to go right down, and right in there you can see where the little leaves are coming out. We're just going to take a sharp pair of scissors or a pair of pruners and just cut like that.
Perfect.
And then all we're going to do is just remove those bottom stems to make sure that there's no foliage sitting in the water, and we can pop it. You know, I can even cut this guy short, and this is the easiest thing. You want to make somebody's day, you want to make somebody's morning, instead of giving them coffee, just pop that just right in a nice little cup.
That's beautiful.
Just like that. You give them a cup of coffee like that, and guys, you can go golfing after you do something like that.
I love that. Frankie, you never give me a flower like that in the morning. Why don't you leave one of those on my desk?
If I stayed at your house and I was at your house in the morning, people may talk.
You got a point.
Good point. So what are some other good plants that you can use as cut flowers? So over there, one of the people on the City Line staff, Alex, said she loved those. That's Phlox, and Phlox is a very fragrant plant, number one. Number two, it's a perennial plant that comes back year after year. And number three, it's one that gets a little bit of powdery mildew. There are some resistant varieties. I'm going to give you the pruners right there.
Yeah.
And you can
want me to cut one of these?
Yeah, and you know, this is the thing. Everybody's always kind of fearful of cutting and cut flowers.
Yeah.
There's really no right or wrong. You just want to make sure that you're cutting it to a length that's going to match the vase that you have in your own home.
But is this going to, I cut it. Is that going to grow back at some point, or is it over?
So with a perennial plant, as you can see here with the phlox too, I'll just grab the plant here. You can see that there's another bud that's coming. So this is going to reproduce several flowers during the growing season. Everywhere where you cut, it's going to bracket out and grow a little healthier. But as soon as this finishes flowering, it's called deadheading, and by removing spent flowers, you're actually going to improve the health of the plant overall. So you know what? Cutting cut flowers is not a bad idea overall.
It's like dead ends in your hair.
It really is.
You've got to cut them off in order to get new growth,
It really is. Go stick that. You can stick that in the middle vase or wherever you want. So another one that's great, if you are somebody that has a shade garden out there, let's say that you want a plant that's going to flower in shade and still at the same time give you some nice cut flowers. Well, Astilbe, and Astilbe Sprite is a really nice variety. These guys here, they give you that nice little dramatic height. And at the same token too, they add a little bit of height to the container that you can just add it right there. You want to cut it a little bit shorter for that one?
I think so.
We can put it in this one here.
Actually, cut this one a little bit shorter.
You want me to cut it a little bit shorter? That's it. And this is the fun. This is great to do with your children too, just to assemble something. Delphiniums, do you want some dramatic height? Delphiniums.
Yeah, give me some of those.
So delphiniums, a lot of people don't know this about a delphinium. You remove those bottom stems there while we're doing that. Delphinium's a perennial plant. After it finishes its bloom, cut it right down to the ground. Presto, you get a second bloom out of it. So that's more bloom for your buck, only here on City Line.
But I should not be taking that off, should I?
You can take that off. Put it in the water, so put it in the vase that you're going to put it in. Is it sitting in water? No, it's sitting out of the water, so you can use that just like that. So what we're going to do is we'll add a little bit of green.
We need a little bit more like
depth add a little bit of chartreuse green.
Here.
This is a miniature limelight hydrangea, and the limelight hydrangea is one that blooms on new wood.
Okay.
So because it blooms on new wood, we can cut like crazy on this guy just to add some other color in there. So you can just kind of clean those bottom leaves off very quickly there. And then I'm just going to give you a couple more. You know what we'll do is we'll add a little bit more phlox to that, just add a little bit of purple color.
You keep going with that. We're going to continue with the beautiful bouquet making, and I think it's one of the nicest things in summer where you can have fresh floral all the time. You put your work into your garden, why not enjoy it a little bit, right?
Life needs to be colorful,
yeah.
Tracy.
Yeah, let's go to break. We've got more coming up. Stay with us.